Hello and welcome to the Woodworking channel. Today we're going to make a cabin birdhouse using fence pickets. So I was figuring out which one of those boards to use. I'm going to end up using both of them because one of them, as you probably notice, has a huge split on it. So what I'm doing now is marking 1-inch spacing, and I'm going to use that to create grooves that will form the sidings of the cabin. As you can see, I'm including the cut lengths that I use so it's easy to follow along. I'm now cutting what will be the front and back of the cabin at 8 inches long. Next, I cut the boards for the sides, which are 7 inches long. If you've been following my woodworking journey on this channel for some time, you would notice that I use these setup bars to make grooves, and that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm basically using it to set the height of the saw blade. They're also used for routers to set the height of the router bit, but I like using them for this purpose. You can use a ruler or a tape measure, but this makes it very convenient to set the height of the saw blade. What I'm doing now is marking 1-inch spacing for the grooves on the sideboards. I have already done that on the front and back, which are the other two boards. And now I'll start making the grooves by just passing the boards over the blade and moving the fence using the markings that are on the board, the 1-inch spacing markings that I've already made on the boards. Now for the front and back, we need to find the center of the board. These boards are very close to 5 inches wide, so we're going to mark very close to 2.5 inches and use that as the center of the board. And then we'll do a V cut to serve as an indication of where the pitch of the roof will be set. So basically that angle will be the pitch angle, which in this case is 45 degrees. So I made the cut on the first side and then flipped the board over and made the same cut without moving the miter handle. Next, on another board, I marked 12 inches and another 12 inches because that will be the board for the roof, which will be 12 inches long. The grooves on the roof will be made at a 45-degree angle to kind of mimic the layout of a shingle on a roof. But first, I'm doing a bevel on one side of the board. Those two ends, the two sides of the roof, will form the pitch of the roof. Now I'm doing 1 inch markings again to space out the grooves on the roof. The spacing can be reduced to 1/2 inch, but for just make this easy, I just went with the 1 inch spacing. But it could be 1/2 inch, it could be 3/4 inches. It's just a lot easier doing it at 1 inch, and it's nicer. It's kind of uniform all around the cabin. And so this is how the grooves look like at the 45-degree angle. And now just cut each side of the roof at 12 inches long. With a few small pieces that are left over, I thought I could make a small door or small window. Well, a small door and a small window that I'll attach to 2 of the sides. Then I'm using a 1.5 inch Forstner bit to drill the entrance into the cabin for the bird. And then I'll also drill the perch on which the bird can land on or stand on. So ideally, the size birds that I'm hoping will find this cabin useful would be birds like chickadees and bluebirds or wrens. If you're a bird watcher or a bird lover, please let us know in the comments the type of birds that you like. I'm using a 3/8 diameter dowel that is cut around 2 inches long as the perch for the bird to stand on. This part is totally not necessary, but if you want to have the additional detail and you're comfortable using a handsaw, you can go for it. I didn't want to use the squeeze clamps on this project, so I just went with the good old tape method. I just added tape on the back side of the board and apply the glue, and then just put it together and use some more tape to hold it on until it dried. As you may have probably noticed, I'm using Titebond Quick and Thick, which will dries really fast. So the roof was done within 5 to 10 minutes. I don't think I've mentioned it, but this front part will serve as the feeder, where we can just add in some bird food in there, so the bird doesn't have to go find food to give to her little ones. Now for the door, which is also optional, you don't need to do this, but I wanted to add some character to it, so I used the small pieces, created the door and a window that I attached with some wood glue and some P-nails. And then I gave the whole thing a good sanding again. This or the floor, and then you will notice that I later added some holes to the bottom, to the base, because that would help to provide drainage in case, you know, rain or water gets into the birdhouse. The holes at the bottom will allow for drainage. One other thing that I took into consideration in building this, you would notice between the roof and the side, there is an opening there to allow for ventilation in case it gets really hot. Where I live in the summer, it gets really hot. Don't be fooled by the snow that you see on the ground there. Now for mounting, you can use these eye bolts, but I am going with these picture hangers because I'm thinking about shipping these and having these picture hangers that could fold. I could remove the chain and have the picture hangers folded for easy shipping or for easy packaging for shipping. But if you have the eye bolts handy, then just go with it. I'm using this chain that I found from an old light fixture, but if I'm going to sell this, I'll make sure I get a better chain to hold it on a tree or a branch. This is something that can be mounted on top of a stand, or it can be hung on a tree. Oh, that's it, my friend. I hope this video was helpful. If it was, you can click on the like button and share it with somebody else. And let me know in the comments what you think about it. And if you do make one, please share it in the community tab. Until the next video, I hope you will have a tangible experience of God's love today. Take care and God bless. If you want to see what else you can build using a fence picket, click on the playlist showing on your screen right now. I'll see you in the next one.